We're joined by Adelita Grijalva, daughter of the late Democratic Congressman Raul Grijalva. You just won the Democratic primary to succeed your father in representing Arizona's 7th district. And she joins me now. Welcome to Politics Nation. And your father was a Democratic stalwart in Arizona politics and national politics. Can you tell us from a personal perspective what it means to you to be running to replace him, now having secured the Democratic nomination to become his successor?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and privilege. My dad, I could never replace my dad. He is a giant. I stand on his shoulders, and we have the same values. But what he brought to this position was a lived experience that I don't have. But I do have the establishment of the same values, representing the same community, caring about issues that are important to this community, and the progressive values that resonated with overwhelming numbers of people. This is a win for progressives in our country. I think our victory shows Democrats that we can be bold, have a progressive message, focus on people and our cost of living, the anxiety that Trump is creating in our immigrant communities, the general sense of chaos we wake up to every day with this administration, and push back on that. And our voters want us to fight for those progressive values. This is also a rejection of this administration and the anti-immigrant rhetoric that this administration is promoting. This is a majority Latino border district. I also think that it shows Democrats that we should embrace a message of humane, comprehensive immigration reform and not cave to Republican talking points solely talking about security.
Now, I want to ask specifically about Democrats and Latino voters, but I'll save that for later, a little bit later, because in your primary win, you rose to the top of a promising crop of younger Democrats at a time the Democratic Party is trying to plot its future, and many voters are calling for a new direction in the party. But you won with the backing of the Democratic establishment and the endorsements of key progressives like Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. What did you learn from this experience about where the party is headed nationally?
Well, I think it's really interesting that in the last 2 months, that's the only time I've ever heard Grijalva and establishment in the same sentence, unless it was Grijalva fights against the establishment. And so we are established in this community, not establishment Democrats. And I think that's very different, because the coalition of organizations that supported this campaign are the Working Families Party, Bernie Sanders, AOC, the Sierra Club, teachers. I mean, the values are clearly progressive, and we were unapologetic about where we stood on these issues. And I think that that's important. And in this election, it showed strong energy and enthusiasm amongst Democratic voters ahead of the 2026 midterms. 62,000 people voted in a Democratic primary, this Democratic primary. That's 7,000 more than in the 2024 Democratic primary, which took place right in the presidential election year. So I think that this is the only race that was on the ballot. It made voters make a deliberate choice to come out and vote. And I also think that it is a sign that my dad, who was elected 11 times in this community, that those progressive values resonate and continue to resonate, that they want somebody who's going to show up and care about Southern Arizona, not get caught up in all of the national kind of media attention that, a lot of people I think are falling prey to. And the national media, the attention that we got in this race was wrong, because they said, oh, it's going to be tied, this is going to be an upset. And really what we did is this was door-to-door, boots on the ground, old-fashioned campaigning with an overlay of social media and getting people excited about the policies we were pushing, not the personalities. And I think that that's a distinction that's important.
And I took note that progressive politics is not based on who's the youngest, though you're younger than Bernie Sanders is 83 years old. It's defined by who's really progressive and who's establishing the community. But pivoting to the president's immigrant purge and its impact on Arizona, where last week the state attorney general, Chris Mays, joined 19 other state AGs in calling for ICE agents to stop covering their faces during enforcement actions and stop detaining people at immigration court hearings. Attorney General Mays warns these practices are unconstitutional and undermine Arizonans' trust in law enforcement. Given that ICE was just handed federal funding larger than most countries' armed forces through Trump's mega bill, do you expect that demand to be heard by this administration?
Well, I think that's the only way that we're going to get any our voices out there is utilizing the courts, because we're very fortunate in Arizona to have a very strong attorney general in Chris Mays, who continues to fight back for the people of this community. District 7, because we border all 3 ports of entry with Mexico, we have a lot of mixed status families, and we are living in fear. Literally, ICE agents come around with their masks totally covered. They don't even identify who they are. They are pushing down doors. They are taking babies from new moms at our hospitals. I mean, our communities are fed up with this sort of militarization and attacks on our people. And what they're doing is they're just kind of looking at you to assess whether they think you may or may not have status in this country. And that is not the way that we're going to be able to move forward as a nation. And it is something that we have to put the brakes on as soon as possible. So when you see LA and other communities that are pushing back, Arizona is going to as well, because we are all sick of the militarization and the feeling that we're being attacked. And that is the majority of the people in this community.
Now, with your primary win behind you, you're expected to win the special election in September and become the first Latina woman to represent Arizona in Congress. Between that ceiling being cracked and your pedigree as the oldest daughter of a Latino activist and congressman, what are your thoughts on the relationship between the Democratic Party and Latino communities in the U.S.? And where is that relationship headed as Democrats try to regain Latino support lost in the last election?
I think what we have to do is we have a lot of work to do. We, this race isn't over until September 23rd, until every vote is counted. And so I appreciate that we have an advantage, but we're not going to stop. I think that it's really important that the nation and this community and this state continues to hear from the people of CD7 that we need people who are going to advocate for working families. And we need to amplify what this bill and what Trump is doing in the largest redistribution of wealth in our nation's history. We need to make sure that everyone understands what that means in a way that makes sense. So let's talk about the fact that people are losing their jobs. They're losing their security. They're losing their public education. We're losing grants left and right because this administration doesn't think that it's important enough to support families that are from marginalized communities that live in poverty. This is not a priority for this administration, but the vast majority of us in this nation are the 99% that he's ignoring. So these midterms, we have to make a bold statement to say this is not the nation that we want to raise our families in. We deserve the opportunity for our American dream, and we're going to fight for it.
Adelita Grijalva, we thank you for being with us this evening.